So I have a master's degree in business, and today I'm going to use it to analyze the glorious downfall of Blake Lively as it pertains to the It Ends With Us cast drama, her utter failure that was the launch of her hair care brand, and why this moment is so much deeper than just regular celebrity gossip, because it really does represent a profound cultural shift where we as a whole are collectively rejecting not only A-list celebrities like Blake Lively, but celebrity culture as a whole and the entire premise of them continuously commodifying and repackaging our collective trauma and then selling it back to us in such a flippantly disrespectful way. So the reason why I've enjoyed seeing the downfall of Blake Lively so thoroughly is not that I hate her personally, although maybe I do a little bit. It's more so that I love seeing a perfect example of something we talk about all the time, which is the culture of everyday people shifting in a certain direction, and then A-list celebrities like Blake Lively being blissfully unaware of that shift because they live in such an alternate reality to us, and then acting in a way publicly that proves that lack of awareness, resulting in backlash, permanent damage to her reputation, and it all goes back to her utter disregard and unawareness that people are becoming increasingly disenchanted with celebrities, celebrity culture, and the age of them selling absolutely anything and acting however they want is completely over. So in order to put all of this convoluted drama into context, we need to start with the person who is the root cause of all of it. And that person's name is Colleen Hoover, who is of course the author of the book It Ends With Us. Now, I found a couple of quotes from Colleen that I think will give some indication into how she views her writing style and kind of explain why it evolved into a dumpster fire, because we weren't dealing with genius source material to begin with. So Colleen Hoover said, "I always say I write to entertain, not to inform or educate." Well, Colleen, we noticed. And there's also another quote where she said, "I like to play devil's advocate when I write. In one of my books, I write about a student-teacher romance that the reader roots for." Well, you know what, Colleen? I'm so thankful for that, because the other day I was saying to myself, statutory rape it's not romanticized like it used to be. So thank you for your contribution to literature and to society. So the reason why it's extremely relevant to know that the very author of the material had a complete disregard of the gravity of the subject matter, did not seem to care of the potential impact that that disregard could have on the millions of women reading that book. Because when you pair that with a lead actress, who is also the producer, who had creative control over the film, and either didn't read the book, or when she did read the book, every time it said Lily, she read it as Blake Lively or Serena Vanderwoodson. When you combine those two creative forces with the creative force of Justin Baldoni, who clearly was attempting to make a more honest and sensitive representation of an extremely serious issue like intimate partner violence, you see these two opposing forces, which is actually visually what I saw on screen when I saw the film yesterday. It was like watching tug of war between two completely different visions for the film fight, and that was really what ruined the movie for me. So I actually surprisingly did not think the movie was horrible, which I thought that I would, but there were specifically two elements of the film that was completely out of place and disjointed. And this was the wardrobe and it was the music. And then I later found out that those were the two factions of the movie that Blake Lively had strict creative control over. And then it makes a lot of sense when you fast forward to all of her future interviews, where to her it was a fashion show, it was a music video, and it was her own personal narcissism project. Because at the end of the day, if she was truly doing what an actor should do, which is put their character first, she would understand that there is no logical explanation, there is no argument to be made that would advance the plot as to why the main character, who was just an average girl in Boston, should be wearing Givenchy and Louboutins. There was literally a scene where it zoomed in on her red bottom shoes, and it made no sense. And then the music was another part that just took me out of the story, because at one point I looked up to the projector screen because I thought maybe someone broke in and hijacked it and took the aux cord, because the music was so out of place. It was like one continuous music video, and it was just like random girly pop music that did not do anything for the story, and it just did not fit. And it honestly was a shame, because the movie was not bad, the writing wasn't horrible, the message wasn't horrible, it wasn't a bad movie, but there were just those elements that ruined it, and it was Blake Lively. So as if it wasn't enough that Blake Lively destroyed the film itself, which actually did have the potential to be an incredible movie with a beautiful message had she not been in it and completely taken it over, she also had to destroy the reputations of everybody involved in the movie through her use of glaringly inappropriate marketing ploys that range from mildly disrespectful to completely nauseating. So the first marketing ploy that Blake Lively utilized is called method dressing. So I'm sure you guys have seen this before, but it's basically where the lead star of a movie will dress in a way for movie premieres that emulates the character that they were playing. So think Margot Robbie in Barbie, Jenna Ortega in Wednesday, Halle Bailey in The Little Mermaid, or Blake Lively in A Simple Favor, or of course Blake Lively in It Ends With Us with all of her floral garments. So while I think method dressing in the context of this film was a little bit inappropriate, I don't think it would have offended people as much as it did had it not been paired with the way she was treating interviewers. You can watch hours and hours of footage of her on this press tour, and you will not find her mention the words domestic violence, intimate partner violence once. It was truly like she was marketing a completely different version of the film. But for me, the part of the promotional strategy that really took the cake was the fact that she decided to exploit the story to sell her alcohol company called Betty Booze. So Betty Booze sponsored all of the premieres with a specified drink menu where they named some of the specialty drinks things like Ryle You Wait, and Ryle is the name of the man who abused his wife in the film, if you didn't know, and also It Ends With Buzz. So in the film title, It Ends With Us, the it is domestic violence, and you are using it to sell alcohol. Did nobody on your team think about the fact that alcohol is something that's present in 90% of domestic violence cases and that this would not go over well? And then this is not even mentioning the fact that Colleen Hoover herself sold It Ends With Us nail polish and a coloring book. A coloring book for a book about domestic violence. So needless to say, all of this drama culminated into an all-out PR war between Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds versus Justin Baldoni. So the main thing that you guys have to understand about these public relation wars is that every piece of information that we know, the only reason that we know it is because it was purposely leaked to us by the parties involved in order to reframe the public narrative in their favor. So hold that in your mind for a moment and then use that to filter through the information we have as to the sequence of events that happened. So first, rumors began to circulate that Blake was a nightmare on set and was insensitive to the source material. That became the narrative. And then Blake retaliated to that by attempting to smear Justin by saying he fat-shamed her. How did we know that? She intentionally leaked it to The Hollywood Reporter. And then a clip magically resurfaces of Blake fat-shaming a reporter alongside the news that Justin hired Melissa Nathan, who is basically the Olivia Pope of PR for celebrities. And again, the only reason that we know he hired Olivia Pope in the first place is because that was purposely leaked to essentially signify to Blake and Ryan, do not mess with me because this can get ugly. Do you think that convenient clip of Blake Lively fat-shaming a reporter just magically happened to resurface in this exact moment in time? No, that was Melissa Nathan attempting to reframe the narrative in the favor of Justin Baldoni. So just understand, every piece of information that we see from now on is being purposely leaked by the parties because Blake and Ryan Reynolds are not going to come out and say something direct because that would cause a complete firestorm online. But they will intentionally leak stories and rumors and resurface old clips in order to fight each other, in order to win back the public favorability. And then to briefly discuss the atrocity that is the hair care line that she also attempted to launch in tandem with the film, which is obviously completely inappropriate. This is not going to last more than 9 months. It's an absolute garbage line. It's getting horrible reviews. There's like a 15% return rate. They're pretending that the products are sold out online, but they're not. They're still in stock in Target. And there are some very strange quotes from her website. She said, "I spent 7 years developing every detail of this line, which legally makes it my third-born child." She has 4 kids, so can someone explain how that makes sense? Wouldn't that be her 5th-born child? She also said on the website, "My hair is my longest relationship, and like any relationship, it's healthiest when you take care of each other." Again, going way over her head, this entire theme of domestic violence. And the aesthetic of the products themselves really look like Jennifer Lopez's, which is irony at its best. So I think in summary, the downfall of Blake Lively will serve as a cautionary tale for other celebrities witnessing it that the public is demanding more authenticity, more substance, and more respect for the issues that matter.